I have completed and got the platinum trophy for Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. And yes, going forward, I'm just going to call it Pirate Yakuza. But I got that platinum and I want to talk about my experience and my overall thoughts of the game in today's video. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. As always, got your call to timestamps down below, so if you want to skip to a certain section of the video, feel free to do so. All I ask is you to support the channel and hit that like button, and if you want to stick around for some more Like a Dragon content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Right, before I go into the video itself, I just want to address something. The last time I made a Like a Dragon video was Infinite Wealth, but a little bit more before then was my thoughts on Like a Dragon Gaiden, and I said I was done with these beat 'em up games and that I was just ready to play turn-based games going forward. I'd like to go back to my former self and say, hey Jen, you were wrong, because I had a really good time with Pirate Yakuza. It actually quite surprised me, and I think going forward I'm probably going to play every single Like a Dragon game that comes out. So with that out of the way, let me talk about Pirate Yakuza, and we'll start off with the story. We play as Garo Majima, a notorious ex-Yakuza who suddenly finds himself shipwrecked on a remote island in the Pacific. He is unable to remember his own name, so he sets sail in search of clues to find his lost memories, and he is accompanied by a boy he meets called Noah, who saved his life. Before long, they are caught up in a conflict between cutthroat criminals, modern-day pirates, and other scoundrels over a legendary treasure. And I think that sums up the game quite nicely. This is just like a fun side trip. This is a Gaiden game through and through. It is just a good time, and I really think that you don't need to have that much experience with the Like a Dragon franchise to play this. Heck, I think you could go in with this without playing Infinite Wealth, even though Infinite Wealth certainly helps out for the overall context. If you want to play a fun game and don't really care too much about the story, I think you will have a really good time with this one. And of course, if you want to know more, you have a many games to dive into. But my overall thoughts of the story is, yeah, it was okay. I had probably more of a good time with the game than with the story. It's not one of the stronger ones. I thought the pacing was really a little bit all over the place, especially when we talk about all the content that it throws in you and when it throws it at you. But yeah, it's all right. It's not bad, and it is just a nice little adventure. So let's talk about the gameplay of Pirate Yakuza. And where do I start with this one? Well, I'm going to start off with exploration like I always do, because there's many ways to explore Like a Dragon. We have new locations like Madlantis and Rich Island, and these are all right. I think Rich Island really serves its purpose at the beginning of the game, and you don't really need to come back to this unless you want to invest yourself in some of the side activities, but it's not needed. And then Madlantis is essentially your casino mini game realm where you can play a lot of things. The main place that you'll be spending a lot of your time and a lot of your time exploring, of which I really did enjoy, was Honolulu, Hawaii. We're back, and I was really interested to see how this would work in like a beat 'em up setting as opposed to the turn-based that we got from Infinite Wealth, and it works quite all right. I had a lot of fun just getting into loads of fights. There's plenty of things to do when it comes to battles. You can find bounties and just the random encounters on the street, but then there's just everything that you get with the Like a Dragon game. We can play darts, we can play pool, we can go to the arcade, we can sing karaoke, we can see a lot of things, we can travel around via our Segway, which is highly customizable in this one. Very interested to see if they take Segway customization to the next level in the next game, but it was a treat to retread the grounds of Hawaii. And with Pirate Yakuza, we have a new way to explore in terms of the grapple hook. We can have a bit more of a vertical explore of Hawaii. Though this isn't done in detail, it definitely highlights the fact that maybe this is something RGG would like to do in the future. A bit more verticality exploration. It was nice finding treasure chests all over the place. But yeah, this game is massive when it comes to its content. There's so many damn things to do, and I probably would need a video dedicated to just all the side activities when it comes to exploration. But I bloody loved it. Exploration was just the highlight for me when it comes to this game. It kept me engaged and really made me want to go for that platinum trophy. Now, on the flip side of exploration, of course, this game has the word pirate in it. So are we going to be embarking upon a pirate ship? Of course we are. You've seen the footage, and it introduces a new way to explore and a new gameplay style when it comes to combat. But on the exploration side, I didn't think this was as strong as I thought. It was really nice to just chill out and traverse the seas with the MP3 player, with the various SEGA soundtracks that I collected along the way. But apart from that, it was more of an A to B, a bit of a chore as time went on. And even though we had more seas to sail and more places to go, it was feeling pretty samey. I felt like I was doing the same thing, like go to a lighthouse, buy something from a vendor on the ship, go to an island, explore that island, move on to the next one. And it was okay. Like, it was tolerable for what I played, but I don't think I could do that all the time. But all in all, it's a welcome gameplay style. RGG have got this in the bag now. They can pull it out whenever they want in any other future Like a Dragon games or any other games that they're working on, and I'd welcome it quite easily. I'm sure it'll get approved upon over time, but they did a really good job here. And some say that this kind of game is a lot more fun when it comes to other pirate games, and to that I kind of agree. Now we're going to move on to the combat of Pirate Yakuza, and we have two styles of combat, just like we had two styles of exploration. So we'll start off with Majima himself. I was very pleased on how he controlled, how snappy and responsive it is. The fact that we can jump adds a new layer to combat, and overall I had a barrel of a time just unlocking all the upgrades, being able to master the combat. The fact that we get rings here that really add to combat. For example, when it comes to the Mad Dog style, which is akin to his original style from Zero, but obviously developed a little bit more, I had 3 rings equipped that made him, whenever he was in that style, a very, very fast and responsive, and I absolutely obliterated a lot of people when it came down to it. And I ended up using that style quite a lot just for those rings alone. But he does have another style, and it is Sea Dog style, where you don 2 cutlasses and really slash away your opponents. This was really, really good for crowd control, big battles, because you do kind of go against 100 enemies at the same time, or massive waves of enemies, so it's really good at controlling it. You also have a gun for long range combat, which really, really helped out when it needed it. But all in all, the combat here for me made me rethink what I said originally when I played Like a Dragon Gaiden, because this was just so fun to mess around with. I didn't mind getting into random battles. It never felt tedious to me whatsoever. And then there is the ship combat, and this was really easy to navigate, quite fun to begin with, especially going through like the Colosseum, and you can upgrade these ships to how you see fit with some pretty unique things, including flamethrowers and laser cannons, and you can also don a rocket launcher to get the final couple of hits in. Ship combat, pretty fun. I definitely preferred the combat with Majima himself over the ship combat, but again, RLGG really surprised a lot of people with how much they managed to make this feel pretty damn good. On the subject of combat, while we're talking about it, there's a lot of upgrades. I've mentioned the rings. There's lots of ways to fine-tune it to the way you want it. I was pretty overpowered by Chapter 2, but I'll go into that in just a second when we talk about the side content. But combat, all in all, is at its best here, especially when it comes to its hand-to-hand combat. So let's talk about side content and weave that into the Platinum Trophy, shall we? There's a lot of side content. I mentioned a majority of it during the exploration, but there are also side stories here. A lot of them with you getting lots of ship members, which I didn't touch on too much. You do have like a management system when it comes to your ship, but I didn't really think it was that much of a thing you needed to go too in depth with, because I never really changed up the roster that much and I got through it just fine. But there are many NPCs, memorable NPCs if you are known with the Like a Dragon series, to collect along the way. Side stories, again, yes, they follow the typical Like a Dragon blueprint. Very funny, very out there, sometimes a little bit emotional, catching you off guard, and I did enjoy them. There's just a massive playground here when it comes to side content, and I could just gush all over it because it's my most enjoyable part. They introduced a lot of it in Chapter 2, and I felt like, man, I spent a lot of time in chapter 2. I think I was already at the 40-hour mark before I was at the end of chapter 2, because I was just doing all the side content it had to offer. I was getting bounties, I was doing mini games, I was getting more crew members, I was doing the side stories, and like I said in combat, I was pretty damn overpowered when it came to the rest of the game. But I wouldn't have played it any other way. I got all the side content out of the way when it chapter 2, and then when I got to chapter 3 it introduces something else, and I was just like, man, I need to do this all now. It's just the same bells and whistles for me when it comes to the side content of a Like a Dragon game. I just get my teeth sunk into it and have a thoroughly good time. And then when it comes to the Platinum Trophy, this was probably the easiest Platinum Trophy I've ever got for a Like a Dragon game. Again, when it came to chapter 2, I only had like 7 trophies left to get, and they were mostly story related trophies and some of the Colosseum that had not unlocked until the end of the game. Apart from that, it is a bit of a breeze, but a good time nonetheless. I really feel like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii was a great palate cleanser for me. It came out at the right time when I wasn't really playing anything. It was a fun experience, not a game I'd probably go back into or play New Game Plus with, but I did enjoy the experience I had. Because I've played previous Like a Dragon games, it's given me more context for the story and given me a vague idea where the story might be going, and I'm excited where the story might be going. So there you have it, my experience with Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza. I appreciate your time. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've played Pirate Yakuza or you're planning to play Pirate Yakuza, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.